Sandra, if we could have a roll call, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Legislator Hathaway.
I'm here.
Legislator Verkler. Legislator Mosier. Legislator Gilbert. Legislator Chartrand.
Here.
Legislator Morahan. Legislator Leviker. Legislator Osborne. Legislator Nellenbach. And Legislator Dahlhoff.
Here. Everyone please stand for the invocation and the pledge. And Legislator Hathaway, would you lead us with the invocation, please?
Father, as always, we thank you for the blessings you bestow upon us. Many of them we don't know, but all of them we appreciate. And Father, we thank you for sending us the baby Jesus and the sacrifices that he made for us. He paid a debt he didn't owe because we owed a debt we couldn't pay. And we're thankful for him. Thank you. And Lord, would you please help those among us that need your helping hand, your healing hand and your helping hand, and help us to help them. And Lord, would you please help our country to get back to the way we started and we still should be, one nation under God with understanding and tolerance. Please guide us in that and guide the world. Thank you for all you do for us. Amen.
Pledge allegiance. We have a proclamation, Cassandra.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This proclamation is commemorating November as Adoption Awareness Month. Whereas Lewis County celebrates all the children and families enriched and made whole by adoption and recommit ourselves to recognize the importance of giving children permanent, safe, and loving families. And whereas so far in 2023, Lewis County has had 3 foster children adopted, with another 4 scheduled for the month of November. And whereas on Adoption Day and throughout Adoption Awareness Month, we recognize all the adoptive and kinship families across Lewis County who change children's lives for the better. We give thanks for the foster families who love, care for, and provide for our foster youth, as well as the dedicated professionals who are invested in these children's futures. And now, therefore, I, Lawrence L. Dahlhoff, Chairman of the Lewis County Board of Legislators of the State of New York, do hereby proclaim November 2023 as Adoption Awareness Month in Lewis County.
Thank you. The October 3rd board meeting minutes, if there are no amendments, they stand approved. Report of the Finance and Rules Committee per Rule 6, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee has met, and they recommend to waive rules to act upon late resolutions.
Would someone like to move that? Phil, second by Lisa. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries. Public hearings. We have 4. I'm going to read them off so that we can start them concurrently. The first one is local law number 1-2023, local law to authorize overriding the tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law 3-C, otherwise known as 2% tax cap for the Lewis County 2024 budget. Next is the local law 2-2023, local law of the County of Lewis providing partial real property tax exemptions for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers pursuant to Section 466-A of the Real Property Tax Law. Next is the Lewis County 2024 Shared Services Plan. And finally, an unsafe structure located at 6314 East Main Street. So we'll go back to the top. Is there anyone here that would like to comment on local law number 1-2023, Local law to authorize overriding the tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law 3-C for the Lewis County 2024 budget. Surprised I don't see any interest, but we'll move on to the next one. Local law number 2-2023, local law of the County of Lewis providing partial real property tax exemptions for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers pursuant to Section 466-A of the real property tax law. Would anyone like to comment on that? We'll move to Lewis County 2024 Shared Services Plan. Any interest there? And finally, we will move to the unsafe structure located at 6314 East Main Street, Village of Turin.
Mr. Chairman, if I can be heard on that. We have the owner here, Mr. Ignacio Ahumada, who came in from California. Mr. Ahumada, if you could just go over near the speaker there. Yeah. The board has before it a package of the documents related to this property. The codes enforcement officers, David Brown and Ward Daly, met with Mr. Ahumada this morning with me at the site of the house. Mr. Ahumada, I think you've indicated to myself and to some of the legislators that your intention is to demolish the extensions that were added on to the original structure, and you're looking to preserve and rehabilitate the original structure. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you understand that you're going to have to take some action on this right away. Is it your intention to clean up the debris on the property in the meantime?
Yes.
Okay. And did we provide you with a list of potential contractors who could assist you in the demolition?
Yes.
Okay. And is it your intention to take those steps within the next 30 to 60 days to get the demolition contractor in there to remove those parts of the structure that are beyond repair?
Yes.
And are you asking for the board to consider giving you that time period to do that?
Yes, I'm asking for it.
Okay.
I mean, 60 days.
And you understand you have to work with the codes department, and you actually have to get permits for demolition as well. And you may have to contact other regulatory agencies to do the demolition.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to present to the board?
No, yes, basically. Take the steps with whatever situation presents itself. But my intention is to clean it.
Okay.
to say.
Joan, just to clarify, is that 60 days to start or complete?
You would be complete with the demolition of the portions that you intend to take down within the 60 days. And we talked about that
Yeah.
there's an indication that it probably could be done within a week or two. So he just has to get the contractors, get the permits in order. Codes Department has indicate that they're going to work with him every step of the way to make this happen timely for him. He's come all the way in from California. So I personally appreciate the fact that you stayed in touch with my office and that you're doing the right thing, even though it looks like it wasn't such a great deal that you got on this property. Yeah, well, we appreciate you working with us to make it happen. So the board is going to take this into account and vote on the resolution a little later in the meeting. So if you can stay for that, that would be good.
So I think we will amend the terms of this order a little bit. It says 30 days here to commence the demolition. We will push that out to 60 days. And within that time period, concurrently, if you would obtain a engineer who would support the fact that part of that building, the part that you wish to salvage, is in a condition that you can do that. If you can provide us with that within that 60-day window, then we can rediscuss complete demolition, and possibly, if it's in good enough shape, you can salvage a portion of it. This order orders you to completely demolish it. So that's why if you were to get an engineering firm or an engineer to support that some of it can be salvaged, we'll renegotiate that portion. Is that good with you?
Yeah, because I also would want to know and investigate a little bit more what could be built as a complete demo or what could be built as a remodel, an addition. What are the pros and cons? So I don't know the law here. Need to investigate it.
You won't know until you get into it, right? Recognizing that you bought it on sight unseen, we're trying to make an accommodation here that, so that you don't lose the entirety of your venture.
Thank you.
Good.
Codes, are you good with that?
Hold this resolution and vote on it.
Yeah, there's a resolution to follow in the packet that we'll pull and vote on this separately. So if you would stay for that.
Sure. Thank you.
That's fine. Thank you.
Privilege of the floor. Does anyone have any comments in general that they would like to make a statement? Seeing no hands, we'll move on to clerk of the board report. Cassandra, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A resolution was received from Franklin County titled Franklin County Legislature opposes Senate Bill S-6637 regarding amending Section 606 of the tax law. A resolution was received from Greene County titled Supporting Senate Bill S-7645 that repeals certain provisions of the executive law establishing a fee for background checks on certain firearm and ammunition purchases. Several resolutions were received from Orleans County. They are supporting of efforts to improve probation and alternatives to incarceration in New York State in order to protect the public and reduce reliance on prisons, jails, and detention. Urging the governor and state legislature to allow speech language pathologist assistants and aides to practice via license, registration, or certification in New York State's early intervention program to expand capacity for children in need of services. Urging the governor and state legislature to move the administrative responsibility for preschool special education transportation services to local school districts. Urging the governor and state legislature to implement a rate increase for early intervention providers with no increase cost to counties. Urging the governor and state legislature to expedite the release of covered lives implementation guidance and funds to counties. Urging the governor and state legislators to enact increases for local highway, bridge, and culvert programs to compensate for construction cost inflation. Supporting the creation of a joint state agency local highway department advisory group to prepare for the transition to a zero or low carbon transportation sector. Demanding New York State reduce the cost of state mandated programs on local taxpayers. Urging the federal government and state of New York to provide immediate assistance to local governments to address the migrant crisis, urging the governor and New York State legislature to become a true partner by focusing on rent allowance and standard of need, which must include the restoration of 50-50 cost sharing for safety net programs and provide actual brick and mortar solutions by making permanent housing the central focus. supporting proposals to modernize state tax laws to include the short-term rental industry and ensure these changes are appropriately tailored for the needs of local communities. Support of modernizing New York State's in REM tax delinquency foreclosure process to comply with the Taylor versus Hennepin County Supreme Court decision and prioritize the needs of all property taxpayers. And supporting Senate Bill S 7645 that repeals certain provisions of the executive law establishing a fee for background checks on certain firearm and ammunition purchases. The semi-annual mortgage tax report for April 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2023 was completed and distributed to the Board of Legislators. The sum of $193,499.91 has been apportioned to the tax districts, and the Treasurer's Office has been directed to pay the respective amounts due to the towns and villages pursuant to the provisions of Section 261 of the tax law. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Thank you, Cassandra. And we will move on to standing committee reports. Tom, with Finance and Rules, would you start us off?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The purchasing department has been busy this fall working with the budget team to deliver a capital budget that enables the county departments to have the tools and resources to serve the citizens and taxpayers of the county. Last month, they opened an RFP for Oasis Substance Misuse Program. They currently are issuing 2 RFPs, one for the demolition of a condemned structure in Port Leyden, and the other is the second enclosed trailers to assist Board of Elections with moving around the voting machines. By owning these trailers, the county will see a 5-year payback and the convenience of not having to rely on rental companies to provide trucks each year. It comes down to the last minute if they have enough trucks for us. Finally, there will be a surplus auction coming up in the next few weeks, being highlighted by 2 snowmobiles from the Sheriff's Department that have been replaced and a 2016 Ford Interceptor patrol car. That's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Tom? Thank you, Tom. And we'll move to General Services Committee with Legislator Gilbert, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Emergency Management is working with DHSES to complete a COOP plan draft forthcoming. This plan would not be possible without the support of the board and the creation of the Emergency Management Deputy Director requested in the budget. The BOCES EMT program is coming together with the support of Howard G. Sackett's Technical Center, Lewis County Emergency Management Office, and findings from the Lewis County EMS Ad Hoc Committee. This program will hopefully bolster the number of EMS providers in Lewis County. An advanced EMT class will be hosted in January at Constableville. This class has not been provided previously in Lewis County, so this is a new thing for our community. A full schedule of fire training classes will be established at the state fire instructor meetings scheduled for later this month. Lewis County has 4 state fire instructors that reside and provide training in Lewis County. And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions for Ian? Thank you. And we'll move to Health and Human Services with Legislator Burkler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lewis County Public Health reported a slight decline in reported COVID-19 cases in September. However, 15 individuals still were hospitalized, and unfortunately, 4 residents of Lewis County died of COVID-19 related complications. Public Health continues to provide COVID-19 vaccine by appointment in their office. They are able to vaccinate everyone 6 months and older. Moderna and Pfizer both have now bivalent boosters that have been authorized by the FDA. These booster doses cover the original virus strain as well as Omicron. And that's all I have for today.
Questions for Lisa? Thank you, Lisa. Dick, I understand you have no report tonight for the Hospital Board of Managers. That's correct. We'll move on to Project Manager Report with Jim and Nick Garrido.
Again, I'd like to thank the board and Ryan for the opportunity to report on the project. One of the things about this particular project is multi-phase. And whenever you finish a building, there's always issues where you have to go back and work on things. And with the contractors continuing to work on the project, it's easier to get them back instead of having to call them and getting on their schedule. For instance, we have an issue with a Benny Crane. We let them know, they're on site. They deal with the topic immediately. And we're moving forward into the last phase. And I'll let Nicholas bring up the speed on the specifics.
I'll start on the Board of Elections. The exterior should be done, hopefully by the end of this week. The last, parts that are missing, the roof and siding has arrived. So the exterior should be done hopefully for the end of the week, weather dependent. Inside framing's up, gypsum wall work's going on soon. They'll be finishing and painting here in the next couple weeks. All materials are on site, so this should go pretty quickly. And, that building should be extracting near the end of next month. Down at the highway site, the new outdoor services building, all the concrete floor has been put in. Right now the block wall is going up, and lights, electric's getting roughed in, and exterior work is happening as the weather allows it to go on. But it's moving right along, and it's coming 2 more buildings. Thank you.
Any questions for Nick and Jim? Thank you, guys. And the next on the list is the county manager report, but Tom and Phil voted to not have that, so. Okay, well, you changed your mind, I guess we'll have the county manager report. Ryan, please.
Well, since I saw you guys last at the committee meeting, really the only thing that our team has been, working on is this, which is the tentative budget, which is delivered to you today. At this point, the budget is in your hands, so any changes that you guys would like to make, you can do that via motion or resolution, and you can do that at the next meeting. So that's it for me.
Didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Okay, thank you, Ryan. And we'll move on to the county treasurer report. Eric, please. Okay. Any questions for Eric?
Eric, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Do you know how our mortgage tax for this period is compared to prior years?
Technology.
Much better.
Ian, are you referring to the last semi-annual report versus last year, or are you referring to this previous month? compared to last year?
Really either. It's just, the one we got was from April 1 to September 30. I'm just wondering if how the mortgage recording tax,
Okay,
and that's
so-
a good indicator of development.
Mortgage report is down substantially this year from previous maps. During COVID, when people were trying to get out of urban areas and when, excuse me, when interest rates were low, it was a buyer's market. That's when you saw most of the property being bought. As interest rates went up throughout the course of this year, the mortgages have been less and less, deeds have been less and less. So that's why if you would look at previous ones, or I can supply the reports, that you see that we have a substantial loss with mortgage tax.
That's fine. Thanks. Appreciate it.
We did put in less revenue in the budget next year to account for that.
Okay. We'll move on to report of the Finance and Rules Committee per Rule 7. Sandra, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee reports that they have examined the claims presented for payment in the total amount of $6,302,035.20, and they recommend that they be audited and allowed for the amounts claimed.
I need a motion to accept that report. Lisa, I have a second. Jeff, any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So we still have about 10 minutes to go on the public hearing. Are any of these consent resolutions we can move forward with and then come back to public hearing?
I would just request that we pull Resolution 200 in addition to the ones that Cassandra has listed there. That's the hearing on the property we just discussed.
Okay. So we're looking at pulling 197, 198, 199, 200, 218, and 219. Does that leave any for consent? Okay, would someone like to make a motion to move the consent resolutions? Jess, second by Phil. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? The consent resolutions carry, and we're going to have to take a 10-minute recess at this point to get through the public hearings. So we'll be back at 5:40. Okay, we are back in session and we are voting on resolutions, and we're going to start with number 197.
This is auditing and allowing claims in the amount of $6,302,035.20.
Moved by Lisa, second by Dick. Any discussion? We have that noted. And any other discussion? If not, this is roll call.
Legislator Verkler. Legislator Gilbert. Legislator Moorhan. Legislator Nellenbach. Legislator Hathaway. Legislator Mosher. Legislator Chartrand.
Yes.
Legislator Leviker. Legislator Osborne. And Legislator Dolhoff.
Yes.
E
98.
is resolution adopting and otherwise treating local law number 1-2023.
So I'd like to move it. Phil, do I have a second? Lisa? Any discussion? This is a roll call as well.
Legislator Osborne. Legislator Hathaway. Legislator Nellenbach. Legislator Verkler. Legislator Leviker. Legislator Mosher. Legislator Moorhan. Legislator Gilbert. Legislator Chartrand.
No.
And Legislator Dolhoff.
No. I'm sorry you didn't get the memo, Phil, but the motion is defeated. 199.
Resolution adopting and otherwise treating local law number 2-2023.
Moved by Jeff, second by Josh. Any discussion?
Legislator Mosher. Legislator Chartrand. Legislator Gilbert. Legislator Hathaway. Legislator Leviker. Legislator Moorhan. Legislator Nellenbach. Legislator Osborne. Legislator Verkler. And Legislator Dolhoff.
Yes. Number 200.
Resolution directing the demolition and removal of an unsafe building pursuant to local law number 2-2007.
Someone like to move that? Lisa, do I have a second? Ian, discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that somebody move to amend Section 2, the first ordered paragraph, to read in the last line, "In the Village of Turin, County of Lewis, shall immediately commence the process for partial demolition of the attached structures and debris to the original structure." And in that section, the second paragraph, ordered and decreed that the owner shall immediately commence the process for partial demolition of the attached structures and complete same within 60 days thereafter, and provide the County Codes Department with an engineer's report indicating that the remaining original structure can be saved and rehabilitated to code requirements. Otherwise, it shall be demolished thereafter.
Someone like to move that amendment, Lisa? I have a second. Dick, any discussion on the amendment? All in favor? Anyone opposed? The amendment carries. Back to the amended full resolution. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Anyone opposed? And the amended resolution carries. 18.
Resolution authorizing agreement with AMP Electric RS LLC for emergency roof and related repairs on 6832 McAlpine Street, Lyons Falls, New York, which is the former Lyons Falls School, to protect from further structural damage through the 2023/2024 winter.
I'd like to move it. Ian, do I have a second? Josh, any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries. 219.
Resolution amending compensation plan of County of Lewis with reference to District Attorney Office.
Someone like to move it, please? Second by Ian. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? And that carries. And just for the record, is there anyone here that would like to comment on any of the public hearings? If not, we will close those hearings and move on to other business. Does anyone have any other business? To adjourn. Oh, we do? I'm sorry.
We're requesting an executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Someone would like to make a motion to go into executive session. Dick, second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? We're in executive session.